Arising from the ongoing challenges facing the power sector, a panel of experts have called on the federal government and other stakeholders to work towards the recapitalization of the distribution leg of power sector value chain. The managing director of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, Usman Gor Mohammed, disclosed this as a member of a panel of experts at the Future Energy Summit in Lagos. Details in this report presented from our studios.
This is a panel of experts put together by the organizers of the Future Energy Nigeria Summit 2019, including players from the power sector, the Central Bank of Nigeria, the commercial banking sector, and donor agencies. They are here to brainstorm on the nation's power sector with the theme, can the recapitalization of the power sector work in theory? First to take the podium is the managing director of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, Usman Gor Mohammed, who made a passionate appeal for the federal government and other stakeholders to right the wrongs on the sector and its privatization program. He said the distribution leg of the power sector value chain has failed to live up to expectations through a combination of factors which he posited can be addressed through recapitalization and rejigging of the management structure.
The way we can have that is for us to have efficiency injected into the last segment of the power sector. And how do you inject efficiency? First of all, you need the funding to fix the network. All the networks of the distribution company since it was privatized largely are what they are since that time it was sold. If you have a car that they have been flocking for 6 years or for 5 years, you don't change the engine oil, how do you expect the car to function properly? So this is what problem we have. I can clearly tell you that from December 23rd to May 5, we achieved frequency control of 49.75 and 50.25 Hz at 85% of the time. From May 6th to date, we are struggling to achieve 30% of that, simply because the distribution network is very weak. Whenever it rains, the network collapses like toilet paper.
For others on the panel, they all share similar opinions on the need for recapitalization of the distribution leg of the sector, but queried the rationale behind the investment owing to the non-performance of earlier ones.
Yeah, so I think there is definitely some concerted efforts to put the power sector on this path towards long-term sustainability and profitability. Because if you think about it, if I am an investor and whether or not I'm bringing equity or debt, it really doesn't matter. But as an investor, if I'm going to be investing in the Nigerian electricity sector, I need to be convinced that my investment is going to come back to me. Right? I need to be convinced that the cash flows exist. I need to be convinced that the cash flows are sustainable. And I need to be convinced that the fundamentals that are supporting these cash flows are actually in place.
Representatives of donor agencies, the sector does not only need a recapitalization, but a restructuring that will make it attractive to investors. The panel agreed that the sector needs a reordering of the power sector reforms and especially recapitalization to really move forward.